Hello, everybody. Let me know in the comments if you guys are here. I'm gonna just hang out a few minutes, wait for people to show up. Hello, Sarah. Also, as you guys can see by the title, these are going to be TorDotComAThon reading sprints, but of course you can read or work on whatever. I love how YouTube always gives you a notification that your own channel is live. It's like, yes, I know, I'm here. Let me know in the comments what you guys are going to be reading or working on. Might be joined by some of the other hosts. Not sure. We're kind of just doing like a drop-in basis because we're all hosting at different times. And I know that for those of us on the West Coast especially, it's like kind of a weird time to start because it's like not quite the end of the workday, but hello. How has everyone's Friday been? Hello, Sarah. Hello, Kierfer. Ramblin' Reader says, just finished watching the recording of Bethany's sprints from yesterday and time to jump over to this one. Perfect timing. Sweetie Liz says, I had a hell of a day, but now I am on the other side of the day. Yes, exactly. And it's Friday, so at least hopefully you have the weekend to decompress. My day was good. It was pretty relaxed, which was really nice. I haven't been sleeping much though, so I am drinking iced coffee at 4 p.m. Hello, cool gamer. I think we're probably gonna sprint for around 2 hours. That's my plan right now. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and I guess introduce myself. I think you guys probably know if you're here, but hi everyone. My name is Kara. My channel is Wild Book Garden, and I'm very excited to be one of the co-hosts for TorDotComAthon this year. This is the second round. Bethany from Beautifully Bookish Bethany is the creator of this readathon. I have linked my announcement in the description, so if you want any more info on all of the hosts, and we have like a ton of reading sprints scheduled throughout the month. We're all also doing a giveaway for a different Tor book. So there's a lot of exciting things to follow. Oh, Nellie says, I had the video waiting and open in one tab, but I was on a different tab. So your voice just gently wafted into my headphones. And I was like, who is greeting me? Yes, surprise. Sweetie Liz says, my sleeping has improved so much since I started using a weighted blanket. It is life-changing. I have heard that. I've been thinking about trying one. I'm reading The Dead Romantics and also working on a crochet project. Nice. What are you making? I do have some knitting with me today for maybe like the chatty parts, but I don't know if I'll actually be doing it. I was given a bunch of like novelty yarn from somebody clearing out stuff. And I think most crafters will agree that novelty yarn looks cool, but it can kind of be a nightmare to do anything with. So it's like a ribbon yarn. I did find a pattern that is supposed to look really good with ribbon yarns, and I like it so far. We'll see if it turns out okay at the end, but I'm basically just trying to use it up. Ramblin' Reader says, I love my weighted blanket. Feels so cozy to curl up under at the end of the day. Starting Long Way Down, the graphic novel. I haven't read the graphic novel version, but I've read the original novel in verse and I loved it. So I've heard good things about the graphic novel. Oh, that's so cute. Working on a stuffed pineapple as part of a crocheted fruit bowl project. I love that. We have another vote for weighted blankets here. Sarah's Perusal says, my weighted blanket helped so much with my anxiety. You guys are convincing me. I'd like to at least try it. Oh, and I saw somebody. Kerber said, I'll be reading A Strange and Stubborn Endurance, but you might inspire me to knit instead. Yes, either of those are great. Okay, so I don't know if we want to do our first sprint. Maybe we can start with a shorter one, kind of a warm-up sprint. Oh my gosh, a 25-pound weighted blanket. Wow. The weighted blanket people are like very convincing. I'm so glad it works for all of you guys. I might have to try one. Yeah, anybody else reading anything specific, whether it's for TorDotComAthon or something else? I am going to be focusing on The Spare Man by Mary Robinette Kowal, which I talked about in the sprints yesterday, but I didn't actually get to this one because I was focusing on Along the Saltway Sea by Shannon McGuire, but I have now finished that one. So I'm going to be reading this one. I'm about 100 pages in, and I'm really liking it. It's like a murder mystery in space. Really fun so far. Okay, and what are we thinking for a warm-up sprint? Yeah, I'm really liking it so far. The mystery part is super fun, and it's also interesting because I don't usually read a lot of books where the main couple is already together. So this is like the main character's honeymoon. So they're obviously already together, and that's been interesting too. Like it's not, I don't think it's like a sci-fi romance, but it does have a strong romantic element to it. Reading Ace has a final in 50 minutes, so just jumping in to say hi. We'll rewatch later. Best of luck on your final. Finishing the latest Walter Mosley tonight so that I can move on to the group book. Yes. Trying to finish Camouflage by Joe Halderman. My tour books aren't until later in the month. Yeah. And you got lots of time, and a lot of them are novellas, so all good. All right. What do we think about like a 20-minute sprint just to warm up? So going till the 30-minute mark. Kristen Crave's books. Love The Spare Man. Yeah, the cocktail recipes are a fun touch. Like I don't drink super often, but like they look fun. Okay. So how about a 20-minute sprint? That's what I'm thinking. All right, so we are going to go to the 30-minute mark, whatever time zone you're in. I'm going to mute my mic and feel free to read, work on anything you're doing. Great, 20 minutes sounds perfect. The Lives of the Ojungo as an ebook. Okay, reading an arc, nice. Legends and Lattes. Oh, that it should come with recipes. I haven't even read that one yet, and I'm like, that is prime for like bakery and coffee recipes. Okay, so we are going to sprint for 20 minutes, and I will see you guys then. Okay, everyone. First warm-up sprint over. How did we do? I know it wasn't much time, so I only read, I guess I read a little bit, like 1 or 2 chapters of my book. I mean, they're not like numbered chapters, but it's structured like chapters. How did everyone else do? Ramblin' Reader got 26 pages done. Nice. Sarah read like 6 pages. But yeah, annotating slows everything down, so that's actually pretty good. Especially, I assume, because you're annotating a classic, probably. But at least a chapter, but can't really remember where I started. Reading went well. We'll definitely finish tonight. Nice. Yeah, I kind of want to try and finish this today. I don't know. I have like 200 pages left or something, but I definitely could do it. And I'm like very engaged in it. Like I'm really interested in the mystery part even more than like the character stuff. So I might try and get to this tonight. Like I feel like it's a really good balance of things I notice and like clues I notice with things that surprise me, which is something I usually like in mystery books. Kristen Crave's books got a couple chapters into my book. I am reading Miss Percy's Pocket Guide to the Care and Feeding of British Dragons, longest title ever. Yes, I really enjoyed that one, but it is a mouthful of a title. Are you liking it so far? I thought it was really cozy and fun. Almost halfway through, long way down. The artwork is so beautiful, completely enthralling. Reading All Quiet on the Western Front. You know, I've been thinking about like, because we read that in like my 10th grade history class, and I remember hating it, but I feel like I probably didn't appreciate what it was doing then. So I can't believe I've been thinking about, I don't know, trying to read it again at some point. Never thought that would happen, but maybe. Nicole got no reading done. That's okay. Matt just got here, but reading High Times in the Low Parliament. Nice. Definitely would have hated it in high school too. Yeah. I question so many of the school assigned book choices that were made. Like I'm really glad that I already loved reading by the time I got to school, like at all, or like when, especially when they started assigning books to the class. Because if I didn't already love reading, I don't know that I would have been convinced by the things they had us read. Might try and do a little bit on my knitting project on our break here. We'll see. It's not like a complicated pattern at all, but I haven't worked on it in probably a couple years. So it's just like adjusting to it again. Like I actually didn't even know where this project was until like 2 days ago. That's how long it's been since I worked on it at all. Matt read All Quiet on the Western Front as an adult and thought it was amazing. Yeah, I kind of do want to try it again because I feel like I would get so much more out of it, and I think I would appreciate what it was doing so much more than I did in high school. Yeah, Diana says I think a lot of people grow up thinking they hate reading because of the assigned books at school. Yes. Hillary scrolled on TikTok and read 2 pages of Nona the Ninth. I'm glad that was just a warm up. LOL. Yeah, I thought too it would be good to just kind of start it off nice and easy, you know, no pressure to like, I don't know, read a huge chunk of your book or anything. So I feel like all of my reading sprints are going to turn into crafting and reading sprints now, but that's okay. Those of you guys who were crafting or were possibly going to, how is your project going if you did end up working on it? Gotten 2 more rows done on your pineapple, started stuffing it with polyfill. Nice. I really want to read It's Boba Time for Pearl Lee by, I think Chen is the author's last name. Let me check. I can't remember her first name though. Nicole Chen. Um, and that one involves a main character who crochets, which I think is so cool. It's also got a really adorable cover. And speaking of that one, is anybody also reading for middle grade March? I would love to hear how that's going for you. I actually have a couple that are going to cross over between Tor and middle grade March. I guess only one series, but the Up and Under series, like that I was reading yesterday, I get to count that for both, which is exciting. I might also, I have other books I want to read for it. I want to read Like a Charm by Elle McNichol. I've loved everything I've read from her so far. And I'd like to also throw in some picture books. I feel like I don't prioritize those enough, but I'm really good at like picking ones that I love, but I just don't read them often enough. Kerber says, I love when a main character is a crafter and it fits into the story somehow. Me too. I feel like we need more of that. It's one of my favorite things. And pretty much any genre as well. Nicole says, I didn't know middle grade March was going on. Yeah, it is. I can never remember if YouTube lets the host link things. So I'm going to try to link one of the announcement videos in the chat. Hopefully this works. But if it doesn't, just look on YouTube for middle grade March 2023 and you will find the host's videos. Let me find an announcement here. Okay. So I just put the link in the chat. Hopefully YouTube keeps it there, but yeah, I love middle grade March. So very excited to read some middle grade and children's books during the month. I mean, I do anyway, but it's nice to have a themed reason for it. Also, how long do you guys think for our next sprint? Maybe half an hour? Just like slowly inching our way up. How does like a 30-minute sprint sound to everybody? I'm gonna finish this row and then maybe we'll do another sprint. I feel like maybe one of the reasons I put this project down for so long is that it's kind of annoying to work on. Like it's a very simple pattern and it goes pretty quickly, but this ribbon yarn is just like really frustrating in a lot of ways. All right, got to vote for 30 minutes. So that's probably what we'll do. Okay, cool. 30 minutes. So we'll be going to the 15-minute mark, whatever time zone that is for you. Let's see. All right. So we are going to sprint until 15, whatever you're reading or working on, and I will see you guys back in half an hour. Hi everyone, we are back. How did everyone do on our slightly longer sprint? Our blend reader had to jump off. That's thanks for the sprints. Any updates? I read a couple chapters. I feel like I keep saying the same things, but like the developments in the mystery are super interesting to me. It is like a little bit frustrating. I mean, this is one of those things that like it totally makes sense for the story, but it can sometimes make for a frustrating reading experience because Tesla, the main character who's trying to figure out what actually happened with this murder, she keeps being obstructed for like very specific things and in the same way. And that totally makes sense, but there's a couple things where I'm like, all right, I'm ready for us to make some progress here. But I am really liking it. Page 220 of Camouflage. It's lulled out a little bit. Matt read 25 pages. Nice. Finally washed your dishes. Good job, Sarah. Sometimes we need that extra motivation, you know? Oh, and I should have mentioned this earlier, but there is also, I don't know if you can see from the cover if I show it, but there's an absolutely adorable service dog named Gimlet, who I love. So that's great too. Diana finished Long Way Down. Had my finger on the trigger to give it 5 stars, but I really hate open endings, so had to bump it down. That's fair. I understand that. I am very picky about open endings. I don't remember why that one didn't bother me as much. Maybe because I kind of knew from how people had reviewed it. Yeah. It's interesting seeing Jason Reynolds talk about the ending and like why he chose to end it the way he did, and um like different people thinking that different things happened. But have you read any Jason Reynolds before, or is this your first one? Because I love him. He's one of my favorite authors, so highly recommend if you haven't read any of his other stuff. I think one of my favorites, whoops, I just dropped my yarn. One of my favorites by him, if not my top favorite, it might be, is The Boy in the Black Suit. I really love that one. It's a contemporary that deals with like grief and friendship and family, and it's wonderful. I just love Jason Reynolds. His track series is also fantastic, which would also be perfect for middle grade March if anybody is looking to join. I guess because it's a graphic novel and it's so short, there's not enough time to wrap my head around the ending, but I'll definitely check out interviews and other books. Love the writing style. Yeah, I love his writing, and that makes sense. I think I would have liked the ending less if I had read it in a graphic novel first. So I totally understand. Try a full-length novel next. Also, is it Diana or Diana? Because I know that people pronounce that spelling differently. So let me know which it is for you if you like. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Jason Reynolds. I think he's one of the few authors that I consider a favorite, and I've actually read almost all of his stuff because normally I have a bad habit of deciding somebody's a favorite author and then just like hoarding their books and not reading them very often because I don't want to run out. Which, like, I think I think makes sense, but I'm also like, I should also read the authors I love. Diana. No idea how to write this, but it's Diana. Lol, I'm Portuguese. Okay, so Diana. That's what I was wondering. Don't want to add anything else to my TBR. Just over 300 waiting to be read. I understand. I I passed that point a long time ago. Like my Goodreads want to read shelf is like ridiculous, but I'm kind of okay with that because it's more upsetting to me to like think that I maybe want to read a book and not mark it and then I forget what it is, which has happened to me multiple times. Like that is more upsetting to me than having an absurdly long want to read list, but I totally understand. Anybody else have any sprint updates? Going to try and rescue my yarn here. Okay, mission accomplished. Deanna says, I'm the opposite. If I love the author, I want to read everything they write immediately. Not great at delaying gratification. I mean, I feel like that is a more sensible approach, though. And I definitely, I have that happen sometimes. Like, most often, I try and like hold off on reading them. But sometimes, yeah, I'll just like marathon somebody I discover. Or I'm trying to be better like these last few years. I'm trying to be a lot better about consistently reading authors I enjoy rather than worrying about running out of books. Yes, the yarn has been saved. I had to go diving for it, but it has been restored. I've gotten barely anything done on this, but that's okay. I think I've done like this much. I think I like how it looks. It's not showing up as nicely on camera. Like I think it's going to be a fun like really out there kind of scarf because of like the rainbow ribbon and everything. But like I said, I did not pick out this yarn. I'm just kind of trying to use it in a way that makes it look better. We'll see when I'm done, whenever I finish it. Fully intended to read on both sprints, but got derailed, but read a few pages just now. I'll take it. Yes. Like a few pages still counts. Progress is progress. I love the colors. Thank you. It is. Progress does still count. Yeah, I really like the colors as well. I'm just hoping that, I don't know. I'm hoping that when I get like the whole thing done, it doesn't look like too much, but I like wearing bright colors, so it should work out. How did everyone else's crafting or reading or working go? I'm thinking we might have time for one more shorter sprint. Um, I'm sorry for those of you who like longer sprints. I usually do a couple longer ones too, but it just happens that today I'll probably need to end around 6 my time. Um, but we should be able to get at least one more little sprint in if people want. And like I said earlier, we have like a whole schedule of reading sprints. There's a lot happening throughout the month, so you'll have plenty of time, plenty of chances. Bethany posted it on her Instagram, and she also, I think, posted it on her community tab on YouTube. So be sure to check that out. I don't know. I don't know if like I might be able to throw in another sprint. I didn't. It's not on the schedule because I wasn't sure I'd be able to. Um, but maybe there'll be like a surprise bonus sprint or something later. One more little sprint for the night. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I think that'll be good. I'll finish this row and then we could probably end with about a half-hour sprint. That feels good. If there are no objections. Tiana says, one more short sprint sounds good. It's 1:30 a.m. here and reading's great, but I need sleep too. Yes, you do. Thank you for your dedication and being here at such a late/early time for you. Okay, so we're going to do one more sprint. Going to go to the top of the hour, and that's going to be our final sprint of the day for these TorDotComAthon reading sprints. Cool. Deanna, OMG, get some sleep. Second it. I understand though, because as I was saying at the beginning, my sleep has not been great either. Okay, so we're gonna go until the top of the hour for our final sprint. I will see you guys then. I say I will see you guys, but like my camera's on most of the time. My microphone isn't, but you know what I mean. Okay, everyone, final sprint done. We are back. How did the last one go for everybody? According to Goodreads, I am 43% done with my book. So I'm going to try and finish it tonight. I know that, I don't have to, obviously, but I'd like to. It's Friday. I have time. Sarah finished her chapter. Awesome. Natalie read 25 pages. Nice. I don't know how many I read during that sprint specifically, but got some good progress today. And it's nice to read at times other than the dead of night, because that's when I usually do most of my reading. Tiana said, started Zini by Rebecca Witherspoon, and I'm enjoying it very much so far. I've heard good things about that author. Okay, so anyone else want to talk about what they read or what they did? Otherwise, we're gonna wrap it up. Trying to remember the other announcements I made at the beginning. So as I said, we have a whole bunch of sprints scheduled throughout the month with a bunch of different hosts. We do have a group book, which is Even Though I Knew the End by C.L. Polk. And we're going to have a live show discussing that book and kind of chatting about the readathon on April 1st. I don't remember that time, but we have posted that elsewhere. Don't forget to check out our announcements and all of the hosts. I have my announcement linked, and that will take you to the video that also has the hosts linked. And don't forget to look into how to enter the giveaways. Most of them are US only, but Bethany is doing one for international viewers as well. So be sure to check out all of that. Sweetie Liz, 95% of Every Man a King going to finish very soon. Yes. And Matt's almost finished with High Times in the Low Parliament. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and sprinting with me. I hope you have a good rest of the readathon. Oh, yeah. Sweetie Liz wants me to show my scarf again before we close. Sitting back in the chair and didn't see it earlier. So it's like this weird ribbon yarn. I don't remember if you were here when I was talking about how I ended up with this yarn, but I did not pick it out. I got it from someone who was clearing out a bunch of crap and they knew that I knit and they're like, here. And I'm like, okay. So I'm trying to make it into something that I like. Yes, you're welcome. This was a lot of fun. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. I hope that whatever you read or do in the rest of the month goes well. Yes, have a lovely weekend. Get some sleep, Deanna. Nicole read some of page 220. I'm anxious about the ending of this book. I hope it goes well. And thank you also for those of you who watch this back later. I know people do that, so appreciate that too. Had a sweater made of ribbon yarn once. Have a great, it would be pretty as a sweater. Yes, everybody have a wonderful weekend. And like I said, I might do another sprint, but if not, there's plenty to come. So thank you guys. Have a good rest of your day or night.